Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our dedicated UPSC aspirants tuning in. I'm Rajiv Sir, and I'm joined by Mega Ma'am for the special Rungta IAS Academy Explainer. Today, we're doing a critical, multidimensional analysis of a really topical economic issue, one that is absolutely crucial for your General Studies Papers 2 and 3.
Welcome, students. It's so wonderful to have you with us. In today's explainer, we're going to dissect those big headlines you've been seeing about India's GST collections. We'll show you exactly how to connect domestic fiscal data with global international relations. It's like a giant puzzle, and we're putting the pieces together today. Let's get right into it.
All right, take a look at this number, 1.95 lakh crore rupees. That is the official GST collection for June, and it represents a massive 13.9% year-on-year rise. I mean, on the surface, that looks like a resounding victory for the Indian economy, doesn't it?
But aspirants, you know how UPSC evaluates your analytical depth. You can never just take these headlines at face value. We have to pause and ask a critical question here. Is this 1.95 lakh crore a true sign of a domestic economic boom, or is it an imported illusion? This right here, this is exactly the kind of critical thinking you need to bring to your mains examination.
Moving on to Section 1, the GST Growth Paradox, Decoding the Surge.
So, to see what's actually happening under the hood of our economy, we've got to break down that 13.9% overall growth figure. And when we do that, the contrast is pretty stark. Import-integrated GST, that surged by a massive 34.6%. But domestic GST collections, they only grew by a very modest 6.5%. What does this mean for us? Well, it brilliantly illustrates that this overall tax buoyancy owes very little to actual, broad-based domestic valuation.
Let's get into Section 2, Decoding the Drivers, What Fueled the Growth.
Right. So if domestic growth isn't the main engine here, we need to figure out what is. Students, whenever you read standard editorial analysis on a surge like this, you really have to read between the lines. Now, the text here explicitly pushes back against the initial assumption that we're just seeing stronger imports of capital goods. Instead, it points us directly toward trade data and core industries' performance to find out who the real culprit is.
And that real culprit brings us to a highly scoring keyword for your GS Paper 3, imported inflation. Seriously, please note this one down. It's basically an increase in the price of goods and services due to the higher costs of imported raw materials coupled with the depreciation of our domestic currency. The crucial takeaway here is that we are collecting more taxes not because we're importing a higher volume of goods, but simply because the things we are importing have become significantly more expensive.
Which brings us to Section 3, the IR link global factors.
Now, this is where we smoothly transition straight into GS Paper 2 territory. We're connecting domestic tax data directly to global geoeconomic instability. Remember, June's GST actually reflects May's economic activity. And what happened in May? Merchandise imports of crude and petroleum products saw a staggering 54% rise by value. Gold imports, up by 34%. And why is that? Well, because global gold prices surged by nearly 60% as people used it as a safe haven hedge during these difficult geopolitical times. On top of that, you have a roughly 6% depreciation of the rupee against the US dollar since late February, plus a really sharp spike in global freight charges. So mechanically speaking, these elevated global prices just artificially inflated our tax base.
Absolutely, Rajiv sir. And to try and stem this massive tide of gold imports, the government actually reacted with a pretty strict policy measure. On May 13th, they hiked the gold import duty from 6% to a steep 15%. This reactionary move, ironically, likely padded the May import GST kitty even further.
All right, Section 4, Checking Reality, the domestic front.
So let's pivot back completely to the domestic front now for GS Paper 3. The data here tells a much more sobering story. In Q1 FY27, the expansion of India's 8 core industries was only about 2.8%. Just compare that to the 6% growth we saw in the exact same period last year. Growth has been notably weak across vital sectors. We're talking crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, and electricity. The reality, aspirants, is that the domestic economy is actually quite subdued right now.
Exactly. And to supplement that core industries data, look at the latest HSBC manufacturing PMI reading, which stands at 54.2.
Now, while that is technically steady, it clearly points to moderating factory activity. In fact, this is the second lowest expansion we've seen in 13 months. The domestic production engine is definitely not running at full throttle.
Moving to Section 5, 9 years of GST, the bigger picture.
As India marks 9 years of the GST regime, we need to synthesize our analysis to give a balanced, mature conclusion. We absolutely have to acknowledge the structural successes here. The government has massively expanded the tax base, growing from about 66 lakh taxpayers back in 2017 to over 1.65 crore today. That is huge. It reflects much better compliance, a greater formalization of the economy, and much faster refunds, so the indirect tax architecture is undeniably stronger today, even if we still have some ongoing challenges around federal revenue sharing issues and litigation.
And finally, Section 6, Mains and Interview Strategy and Action.
Let's wrap up this explainer by turning all this data into some actionable value addition for you. Here is a really provocative mock interview question I want you to ponder. How do global supply chain shocks falsely inflate domestic tax revenues? Think deeply about how you would articulate the link between geopolitical tensions, imported inflation, a depreciating rupee, and our domestic GST kitty. Mastering this kind of interlinking, that is the ultimate key to cracking the UPSC.
Well said, Rajiv, sir. Thank you so much for joining us for this Rungta IAS Academy Explainer Aspirants. Keep studying smart, stay curious, and we will see you all in the very next session.